Now for those assignments that I know are going to be a little bit, it's not that this assignment is difficult, it's just it's a bit of a new thing, and so understanding what's expected could be confusing. For those type of assignments, I want to try to remember to give you a little help in the Nearpod. The directions say each number pattern, which is a sequence below, has a rule. So all these different sequences, this is sequence A, this is sequence B, sequence C, and some of them have missing terms. You're going to fill in the terms. But the rule is over here. The rule for the nth term, so the rule is 2n. For example, when n is 1, the first position in this sequence would be 2. 2 times 1 is 2. When n is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So the rule is on the right. The terms are row by row, and each row is a different sequence. And so you're filling in the blanks. Sometimes you're just filling in some terms. Sometimes you're also coming up with the rule. And so look at the sequence, see how it's changing, and fill in the terms. Or use the rule, like when n is 4, you substitute 4 into this rule. You can figure out what this term would be. There are shortcuts if you see them. There are patterns if you see them. And that's what that's the learning. So I'm gonna try not to say too much, but I do want you to know that each row is a different sequence, and each one either comes with a rule that's supplied to you or a rule that you're going to fill in. Those are the problems for you to do on the first side. On the second side, these group of 5 problems, you're referring to your notes to remember the definitions for arithmetic and geometric sequences, and then telling me for each sequence, is it arithmetic, is it geometric, or is it neither? So you're going to answer arithmetic, geometric, or neither for each sequence. Now for those sequences that are arithmetic, you're going to identify the common difference. For those sequences that are geometric, you're going to identify the common ratio for each one. And if it's neither, then obviously it won't have a common difference or a common ratio. These 2 problems, you're writing an equation, like we did on the notes, that describes each sequence. But I think the tough thing about this one will be understanding that if you don't have a table, you can make your own table. You can make n and t, and the first number in the sequence, the term is 7. The second number, the term is 9. If you like seeing them in table form, that's fine. If you think you don't need a table, if you can just know that n is 1 for the first number in the sequence, 2, 3, and you can work with the sequence that way, that's fine too. But you're going to write an equation. So t equals whatever you come up with. Then you're going to find the indicated term, the 18th term. Now don't extend your sequence 18 places, because if I had asked for the 178th term, that would be ridiculous. Once you have the equation, substitute 18 for n. n equals 18. Figure out what the term would be by substituting into the equation. You've got a similar problem here. This one is truly optional. I'm going to tell you a story about this one on the next Nearpod, but the first time I did this, the first time I saw this problem, I spent almost an entire day trying to figure it out, and I could not figure it out. But I'll tell you a little story about that on the next Nearpod. But just know, if you want to try this sequence, try it, but don't let it drive you nuts. Students have solved it. Students have solved it. So if you're up for a challenge, you're looking for something fun to try, that's a good challenge. All right. Thanks for watching the Nearpod. Class dismissed.